God spoke to every single thing that I put in this notebook. Every single thing, whether that was through scripture, sermons, podcasts, he literally answered me word for word. I literally felt like I was having a conversation with him. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I haven't posted in a hot minute, and I'm guessing that you can see by the title why that is. For the past 21 days, I have fasted. I was in a fast where I literally committed to only eating fruits, vegetables, drinking water for 21 days straight, as well as cutting off social media completely. That was how my 21 days was. I did the Daniel fast. I was a little bit stricter on the Daniel fast than what it usually is on a Daniel fast, and you guys can search this, but the modern day Daniel fast, you're allowed to have rice, you're allowed to have all of these things. But actually back in the Bible, if you go back to the Bible, to how Daniel fasted, he only had vegetables and water, and he didn't even it was just plain old vegetables and water, not even fruit. So I did fruits and vegetables and water, and I just wanted to come on and share my experience. Since posting it on my Instagram, I have had a lot of questions about this fast, but I also just wanted to take a moment to share my testimony on what I got out of this fast and how it has literally changed my life. I'm not even capping right now. I'm being dead serious. It has literally changed my life. It's changed me not only from the outside but the inside too, and I just wanted to share that with you guys in this video. If you guys are looking for encouragement to start, or if you guys are wanting to look deeper into fasting and may want to do one yourself, I hope this will encourage you to do a fast. It has so many benefits to it. The main obvious reason is to get closer to God and to hear him more clearly. That's obviously should be your main motivation behind a fast, which was my main motivation behind a fast. So let's get into it. I'm going to tell you guys from start to finish what has come my way since doing this fast, within this fast, and just how my life has changed even just after doing this fast. So let's get into it. So basically, let me first start by explaining the reason why I decided to do this fast, because I'm not someone who fasts often. I've probably only fasted once before, and that was 2.5 years ago. God actually led me to a fast 2.5 years ago, and that fast specifically was actually at a point in my life where I had literally lost everything. So if we get those of you who don't know, I run a successful 5-figure online business. It's a social media marketing agency where we run social media accounts, and I had started that up 2.5 years ago, and literally because I was actually doing it predominantly without God, I had actually lost everything. And after I lost everything, God had led me to my first ever fast for 21 days. But I didn't fast by cutting out any food. I literally just fasted cutting out social media, music, Netflix, literally, and replacing it by podcasts, sermons, self-help videos. He actually led me to the self-help and self-mastery space during that time, which is in turn what led me to where I am now, because there were so many principles that I learned within those videos by industry experts that I needed in order to actually get to the business that I wanted to, have, to get to those $10,000 months and all of that. And that was achieved because of that fast. Literally guys, like clockwork, after that fast, a few months after that, I had scaled my agency to $10,000 months. I mean, that is when I got client after client after client after client. Anyway, so my point is, that's literally when my agency was birthed to what it is today. So anyways, that was then, okay? So I did that fast, and I don't think I even stuck it out for the full 21 days, if I'm honest. I think I slacked a little towards the end, but nonetheless, I did commit to a solid, I think 2 weeks at the time it was, and I got a lot out of it. I also had a changed perspective and just all of that good stuff. Fast forward to now, since I did this, I think it's been almost 2 weeks since I did the fast again, but this time a lot stricter. I actually did the Daniel fast, to where I restricted it to literally only fruits, vegetables, water, and then I also added the social media in. And the reason that I started this fast this time around, I felt the prompting to fast for a few weeks, but I kind of suppressed it and ignored it, because it's just the idea of fasting exhausted me, because I knew I was gonna have to cut this out, cut that out. So I was I just couldn't be bothered right now if it isn't for an actual real reason, or unless God really tells me, then I will obey and do that. And I literally fell into a very heavy depression a few days before deciding I'm gonna do this. And just to give you guys background, I'm not a person who usually gets depressed. Like, I've never struggled with depression. It's just never something that I've dealt with. I've obviously had my very low moments in life, but I haven't ever gotten to a place where I literally wake up, walk out of bed, and feel like there's just no hope. Like, I don't know, I just felt so empty to the point where I would even be with family. I would be doing things that I usually enjoyed, but I didn't see the joy in it anymore. I didn't have the passion that I used to have anymore for the things I enjoy. Like, all of that was gone. I just didn't care anymore. I couldn't care less, and I was just this close to giving up on just everything. And it was just very, very dark. I don't know how I stumbled into that. Okay, I kind of do know, but we'll be leaning into that further on into this video, but because that's one of the things God revealed to me within this fast. Let's just put it this way. It was a point where it's like, if I didn't decide to do the fast, I don't know, I would have still been in that dark pit, and I don't know, it wouldn't have been good. So I decided to fast. Like, I was at a point where I was just like crying. Like, first of all, I was very numb, but then when I did try and think about it, I was just like, oh, I just feel so miserable. Like, I feel so miserable, and I would literally just cry, just fall asleep crying, and just have random moments in my apartment where I just felt so incredibly lonely. I felt so empty. I felt so like I was even feeling just so far from God all of a sudden, and it really bothered me. And so that's where I was like, then one day my mom messaged me, so I've decided to fast. And the crazy thing about this is, backtrack a few days before that, like, I felt a prompting to fast, and especially entering into that depression period, I felt like I need Jesus. Like, I need to fast. Like, I need him right now. I need to fast. Like, I need to get close to him right now, because I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle this feeling, and I don't even know how to get out of it right now. And I was just like to God, it like silently in my mind, like, okay, God, if you are leading me to a fast, confirm it to me. And literally, like, I kid you not, like 2 days after that, my mom messages me saying, I'm going on a fast. Maybe you should do it too, but it's up to you. I was like, okay, I take this as my confirmation, because I've been feeling led to fast, and now randomly out of the blue she tells me, oh, and she's also not someone who fasts on the regular. So I was like, okay, we're doing this. And anyways, at that point I was so desperate for this fast, because I was just like, I know Jesus heals, I know Jesus can help me. It's just that I don't know how to connect with him right now. I can't even get myself to open the Bible. I can't even get myself to pray. I am numb. I don't know where to start. So I was like, okay, let me declare a fast. And so I went on the fast. I declared a fast. So basically, in the beginning of the fast, what you should always do is declare a fast. Say, God, I'm declaring a fast, and this is why I'm fasting. Because your fast obviously needs, like, you know, a reason. Like, why are you fasting? Even if the sole purpose of that is just to simply strengthen your relationship with God, with Jesus, then that's fine. But there has to be like a reason of like, okay, why am I fasting? What am I making this commitment towards? What do I want to hear from God in this time? What do I want to get from him in this time? And this is not, guys, this is not a, oh, let me do this so that I can get this car or get the, nah, like, obviously your intention and your motive has to be pure behind why you're doing a fast. A fast, first and foremost, is so that you can actually get still before God and actually have the ears to listen to him without the distraction of food, without the distraction of social media, you know, whatever you decide to fast, but without the distraction of what it is that you're fasting from, because that's really a space where you can come away from the noise and really just hear him more clearly. And that is why Christians fast. Is like, not that he otherwise won't talk to you, but like sometimes we just need to separate ourselves from the noise for a little bit, especially if there's something that we need an answer on, especially if there's something that we need deliverance from, if there's something that we're believing for, if there's something that, like I say, if there's something we need answers on or breakthrough in. Sometimes it's good to come away and commit to God for those 2 weeks to 21 days, however long, 40 days, however long you decide or you feel prompted towards, you know, fasting for. But sometimes we need that time away to really hear God more clearly than ever before, because we're putting that time aside for him. Anyways, so I declared a fast, and I had stated to God, look, the main reason that I'm fasting is because I'm so unhappy with myself. I'm not even going to bore you with all the details, but I just felt really low. And I think one of the reasons I felt really low is everything just all of a sudden came crashing down to me. Do you know when you're in a dark pit and just all of a sudden now everything is highlighted in your life? The fact that my biggest weight that I've ever been, and I feel so fat and ugly. That's just how I felt. The fact that I am in this new place and I just feel extremely lonely, and I haven't yet met, like, you know, ultimate ultimately the like-minded people I want to meet. There's things within my family this side that I thought would be different, there's just been things that like I thought would be different and that I thought would work out differently. There's friends that I have here, well, one or two within the Europe region that things would be different with. I just imagined it in a certain way, so that it, like, my expectation wasn't met. So it's just all these things that came crashing down when I was in this dark pit. Like I'm not good enough. Like everything that I've always felt for my entire life just suddenly became very loud in my mind. Like, you're ugly, you're overweight. I never felt like that before, but this is the first time in my life I really felt that way. Like, you're ugly, you're overweight, you literally have no friends in this new place, like you're super lonely, you're just not good enough, that's why you don't have friends, you're not this, you're not that, no one takes you seriously, you're like, just all these lies, obviously from the enemy, but like they just all came tumbling down on me so hard. And the thing is that before I could distract myself from feeling these things, because obviously where I come from, South Africa, where I lived for most years of my life, my friends are there, I had a relationship there, I had all those things there, so that was my identity. Like, I have this committed relationship, I have my friends, even if they weren't many, like I have my friends, I have my acquaintances, you know, I was from a small town, well, city, but it's actually a town, and you know, people know each other, you're comfortable. So it's like I still had the insecurities that I had now, but like back then I could easily just hide from, or just turn a blind eye to actually what I was feeling inside, because I had all these distractions. So I found my validation in my friends, I found my validation at my boyfriend at the time, and I would run to these things all the time. And this is actually the first time in my life where, because God had called me to relocate to Belgium for a specific amount of time. I don't know when that season's coming to an end, I know I won't be here forever, but for this amount of time I felt like your next season will be in Belgium. And I had lost my relationship because of other things. I still have my friendships, but obviously like I can't hang out with them because they're outside of the world. And this is the first time in my life where I'm completely alone in my own company and don't have anything to run to. I cannot pick up, like I don't have anyone to run to. So this is a time where God has really been refining me and growing me, but at the same time it's been very painful. Anyways, but I just want to give you guys some background behind why I felt so low and give you guys an understanding for why I was fasting for what I was fasting for. So I had just asked God, because I completely felt like I actually lost my identity coming to Belgium. And I had first connected this to the place. I'm like, oh no, it's Belgium, I don't feel good because it's Belgium, it's probably the people this side, or it's probably the way the country is, or whatever. Like I was blaming it on the country, which as to why I wasn't happy. I was actually making plans to leave because I missed South Africa. I just felt like I'm not enjoying it here. It's bringing the worst out of me because I've never felt this low about myself, I've never felt this down about myself, and it's just bad for my mental health, you know, all of these things. Basically, actually, since I've moved here, it's really brought these emotions out of me. I feel like I don't know who I am anymore. I've lost my identity completely. I don't know who I am. And you know what? Probably that's how I've always felt. And I knew that. So anyways, that's the main thing I fasted for. I was like, God, I don't want to feel this feeling anymore. Like, I'm so depressed. I'm not happy. I don't even like, when I look in the mirror, I don't even like who that person is. Like, I genuinely don't. And it was crazy because I've achieved so much, but it's like I just wasn't happy with who I was. So that was the first thing I was like, that was on top of my list of the reasons that I'm fasting, is like, God, I want you to heal these things in me because I can't continue anymore. It's like I finally, after 26 years, got to like a breakdown moment where it's like, I just can't handle it anymore. I can't handle carrying this feeling. And I remember like a year or two ago, someone prophesied over me that they see this rope around me, and it's like I can't get free, and it's like I'm in bondage. And even that time I so related to that because I so knew that was from God, and I knew that what he was meaning by that, because perfect visualization and picture of how I've always felt. Deep down, all the time, I would always try and be who I thought I should be based on the company I was with. So anyways, I don't want to like ramble on about that, but that was number one. I was like, God, I want to find myself. I want to be strong in who I am, and most importantly, I want to find who I am in you, and I want to connect to that person. I don't want to feel like people can just walk all over me all the time. I'm always getting hurt by people because I'm actually allowing and tolerating way too much, and that's also why I'm not attracting the right people into my life, because I'm doing that. And please heal me of this. So that was number one. Number two was, okay, here, as you can see, day one, why I am fasting. So so the first one was, I want to find myself again and get rid of the inferiority complex, because I always felt inferior. I want to heal. That's literally what I said. Second point was clarity on life and what's next. Chains and ropes to come off. So that's referring back, remember like the prophecy that I had, that's referring back to that. Like I just felt really all of a sudden confused about life, what's next, all of that good stuff. 3, community and friends, like / social life. Sounds so sad, but anyways. Okay. The next thing is get rid of feeling emptiness and loneliness. And then the fourth one was like personal brand growth, but I was like, I just put it there. I see now, and I can't even remember me writing this down. So you see, yeah, after my list, like I wrote this down. So it says, sometimes God puts us through seasons of struggle so that we learn the lesson necessary to get to the other side. I look back at that now because I look back on the notes that I made for my fast, because every day of the fast, I wrote what I got from God. Well, not every single day, but like a few days of the fast, I did that when I felt like I really received something very specific from God. So like looking back to these notes, like I can't remember me writing that, which is crazy. So it must have just been like the Holy Spirit through me, like me just writing that. And from day one, like when I decided to do this fast, I felt like from day one there was a peace and there was a strength to go through with it, because a fast is actually surrendering to God, and it's committing that time completely to Him, and He meets you at your place of commitment. He meets you at your place of surrender. So best believe that when you do a fast, God will come through for you. I'm not saying that like, because sometimes we could believe for something that maybe God has something better for us. So I'm not saying, oh, you're going to fast and you're going to receive that thing, but maybe you'll get an answer regarding that thing. Maybe you'll receive a peace that you didn't have before behind not having that yet. Whatever it is, or what you're believing for could come to pass if that is within God's will for you, and there's just certain things that you needed to know before that, or there's certain things that you needed to uproot before that could come your way, you know? You never know. But best believe, anyone who's done a fast, and I watched like a ton of Daniel fast testimonies before I did my fast, and even during my fast, every single person that's done a fast has gotten something out of it. Every single person has completely changed after they've done a fast. Go research it for yourself. I've never heard anybody say I went on a fast and it did nothing for me. I've never heard someone say that. And if someone says that, then they didn't do it right. Anyways, so yeah, basically those were my reasons. So let me now move forward and lean into what I got out of this fast. So already within the first few days, it's crazy, guys, what even just cutting out social media can do. But I felt so much peace. And that depression lifted. I can't even explain to you how quickly it lifted. Now, a lot of it lifted, but it took a few days. So in the beginning of my fast, like I would say the first 3 days, it was tough. I'm not even gonna lie, it was tough, because my flesh was craving all of these foods that I wasn't feeding myself with anymore. I obviously at first, in order to just really focus, it's difficult because you can't scroll on social media. Like that was like my default thing that I would do. I would just scroll on social media, and like, you know, I can go on social media. So first 3 days I really had to discipline myself, and even like spending time with God in those first 3 days, like it took a lot of discipline to really like commit myself to doing that proper time with God. Not because before I didn't, but just now it's on a whole new level, because you're really like, I really was very, very intentional with really sitting down at His feet and really giving that time to Him. And that was difficult because my body's craving, I'm a little hungry, and I just don't feel like it. And so, but that's a normal attack that will come your way though, I believe, in like the first few days of your fast, because the enemy doesn't want you to fast. So, and obviously this is going to look different for everyone, but this is just my experience. After those 3 days, but what I can tell you, even those 3 days were hard, I pushed through, because I even have notes of like day 2 and not day 3, but even day 2, I have my fast, I have notes, and literally like the peace that came to me, like there was just a peace that came to me, and it wasn't like immediately my sadness was healed, but I felt peace. I'm like, okay, God is holding my hand. And this is the gracious thing and the beautiful thing about Jesus, is like, yes, I'm not going to take away the sadness, because there's a lesson that you need to learn in the sadness, but I'm going to walk you through it. And He is so loving and kind that He will literally hold your hand and walk you through it. And so after those 3 days is when I can confidently say my depression, I think, lifted completely. Literally within like the first week, my depression lifted completely. I was not depressed anymore. I felt like a completely different person. Literally, I was like, why was I depressed again? It lifted. God just gave me this strength, this sense of self-worth and self-acceptance through that, just coming to Him and spending time at His feet. Like the things that I got from that were so healing to me on the inside, because I was finally coming to a point where it's like, I recognize that I need to uproot this area of my life. So I'm going to lay this before you and come to you, and please meet me in this place. There's such a powerful thing when you start acknowledging these things in your life and you're asking God to come in and uproot it with you. He will. He literally will, because that's where he needs to get you in order to move you into what he wants for you. So trust me, he'll do it. So that was first of what I got complete deliverance from, is my depression. Secondly, I didn't feel lonely at all. Like, my loneliness lifted completely. I don't even know where to start, but I got so many answers in this fast. God spoke to every single thing that I put in this notebook. Every single thing, whether that was through scripture, sermons, podcasts. He literally answered me word for word. I literally felt like I was having a conversation with him. Literally, he answered me. And I felt such a peace. I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. And there was just so much healing, because there was even things that I just didn't understand about my life, that it's like all of a sudden, God answered me, or I had an understanding for why this thing hasn't come to pass yet. Like all of those things that were just like, oh, okay, I get it, but I trust you. So I got so many answers within that. It was crazy. What I forgot to mention is, on this fast, I also really wanted to lose weight, because I had been the heaviest I've ever been. I wanted to feel like myself again. I wanted to feel pretty again. I wanted to feel beautiful again. I wanted to feel in shape again, because I felt really horrible, to the point where I just completely let myself go, because I just don't feel pretty anymore. So what's the point of putting on makeup? What's the point of dressing nice? Because I just feel like a fat slob. That's how I felt. Okay, don't come for me. That's how I felt about myself. I don't view other people that way. I saw that about myself. Okay, so there were so many things he answered, and he really revealed to me the season that I'm in right now is a hidden place, but I'm about to be whatever. I'm not gonna reveal everything that God told me, because I feel like that's just between me and him. I feel like that's not something that I'm gonna share with the world. But what I do want you guys to know is, he literally revealed to me the season I'm in. He revealed to me why things were lonely. He revealed to me why it was necessary for that time to be lonely. He revealed all of those different things to me and brought such clarity to my mind. Where I had confusion before, I had such clarity. It changed me. You know that Jesus glow? I got that Jesus glow, because it was like, I feel so happy again. I feel like my life has purpose again, and I feel so close to him. He became like a friend. I just fell so in love with him because of his loving nature. I'm gonna move in now to the supernatural things that happened. Okay, we're gonna get there. We are going to get there. Okay, the biggest thing that he answered for me is, he showed me who I was in him. And who you are and finding who you are is not so much about who you need to become. It's actually about returning back to who you always were. It's returning back to who God always created you to be. But getting back to the person you were before the hurts, before the wounds, before the betrayal, before the unforgiveness, before the bitterness, before just the pain that comes with living in this world. And just getting back to her. And that's why my podcast is called Become Her, because there's something so powerful about stepping into who God has always created you to be. There's something so supernatural that happens when you step into who he created you to be, that you really step into that, because it does take discipline. But guys, this fast for me was the start of my discipline journey to, hey, like, you've already stepped into part of who you are, which is why you have the success you have now. But now to get to that next level, you need to become her. That takes discipline. And her is the person that God has created you to be. Walk in your divine purpose in this earth. Okay, and he revealed to me what that purpose was, by the way, but again, I'm not going to share that with you. But anyways, so basically, back to what I was saying. Basically, guys, he was just like to me, do you see though who again is here for you when the world wasn't? Okay, me. I'm here again with open arms, welcoming you back, here to heal you, to comfort you, to be there for you. I've always been here. And I will always be here because I love you. But take a moment to look at who you keep running back to. Despite me being the one that's always there for you, look at who you always end up running back to. Because of friends that I have my identity in, relationships in the past, all of these things, that's where your identity lies. And so you can't ever step into who you are, is when the very thing or person you're trying to please is not me. Of course, you're not going to know who you are. And so literally just this entire, I just felt so in love with him. And I also felt so bad that like, he's always been the one that's been here picking up the pieces. But I'm more concerned about pleasing you all. Nah. No more. From this day onwards, no more. And I'm literally still stand by that. And it's been 2 weeks after my fast. There's just no way, okay? My loyalty lies to my creator. It no longer lies to the things of this world. No longer. Because the world, it's like that song, the city's gonna break your heart. The city's gonna love you, then leave you alone. That's literally how the world is, okay? The world's gonna break your heart. The world's gonna love you first, but then leave you alone, leave you in the dust. That's how the world operates. First you feel great and then you feel shit because it's just not, you realize that it's something that you're gonna keep on having to run back to get your validation, to get you feeling good. So you're always gonna be going through these dips all the time. So that first and foremost changed my whole perspective, even on my faith. It's like, I've actually always kind of been cheating on you because I come to you, but then I'm also still trying to seek my validation in other things. And no more, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm literally even thinking of getting a tattoo saying Jesus, okay? To solidify my loyalty and my commitments. Anyways, now let's go into the other things. Guys, I don't know how this happened, okay? But even now after this fast, right? Because I continued with spending intentional time with God. I literally obeyed what he revealed to me in the fast, which was a lot. Before I started this fast, my business was on the low end. It was on the low end. It had dipped completely down to the low end. It wasn't 5 figures anymore. It was on the low end. I was living, it was good, fine, but it was on the low end. Literally, guys, I am back to 5-figure months. Okay. Wild. Literally day after day, I'm having a potential client come my way saying, yeah, I want to sign on. This is what happens when you surrender to God. Things just come your way. What happened also, I was literally at a viewing the other day, and suddenly this girl just starts talking to me, like as we going, because it was a viewing of an apartment where there was more than one person, right? And no, I'm not moving, by the way, and literally as I was walking out at the same time as this girl was walking out and walking to the lift, this girl just suddenly like starts talking to me. I'm like, God, is this you? She suddenly starts talking to me, and then we exchange numbers, we exchange Instagrams, and we're gonna meet up this week. Remember how I was fasting about loneliness? So do you see how God can so easily bring things your way when you surrender and when you choose to uproot and heal and do all of that necessary stuff? But this is what's so powerful about a fast, is your eyes, your ears are open to hear what God is trying to tell you. On top of that, I lost 7 kilograms within 3 weeks, because 3 weeks is 21 days. In 21 days, I lost 7 kilograms. I'm almost at 10 now, and I've kept the weight off now after the fast. That was also supernatural. I feel beautiful again. I feel pretty again. I feel like I'm basically in shape again. I feel like I used to feel about myself. I feel so good now. Like I literally feel like I got myself back again, but even better. It's like, it's so crazy, but I just feel like I have so much energy again. When you feel good, when you look good, you feel good. And God really restored that back into me, because God wants you to feel good about yourself. God doesn't want you to walk around not feeling good, and he's going to help you get the tools to get you there. But you actually have to be in a place to say, okay, I'm going to sit at your feet and I'm going to listen to what you need me to do. That's what a fast, it's like, I'm going to get quiet before you and really hear from you. So yeah, that was basically just my testimony. There's just been so much that has happened. Like my business is soaring. I'm literally gonna be hitting a $10,000 month this month again. I haven't hit that in months. It's at the point now where there's so much clients coming my way that I'm gonna have to start turning people down. That's how much of it is coming my way. I have a lot more social things happening in my life now. Like it's just so crazy. Like the biggest breakthrough is the way that I feel within myself. I feel like I have so much clarity. I feel like I know who I am. I know what my purpose is. I'm more clear on my purpose now than ever before. And I'm just going to obey that. I'm going to obey what the Lord has shown me in the fast. And I have been doing that. And as a result of that, his goodness has just continued to run after me, even after the fast. And it's just wild. Like I also feel closer to him than ever. I literally feel like when I walk out my door, he's walking next to me. Literally. Like we're holding hands, we're intertwined, okay? I literally feel like I'm doing life with God, and it feels so peaceful because I don't have to worry about anything. Because I know that if I play my part, I'm good. He's gonna do the rest. And like that is such a peaceful feeling. So yeah, that's my testimony. I know that my testimony isn't this thing of like, oh, I moved into this new apartment. Like I already have and I'm living a very successful life. But what I really needed out of this fast was more inner work than outer work. Finances wasn't even on my list, but it's what I also got out of it. God will go over and above to bless. I got so much out of it. And if you're finding yourself in a place of depression, frustration, confusion, go on a fast, because I'm telling you, I was in a dark pit that I was like, am I ever going to make it out? Because that's how depression will have you feel. Am I ever going to feel better? Am I ever going to make it out of this? I was snatched out of that pit within the first few days of my fast. Okay? Absolutely such. And if it doesn't happen for you in the first few days, just keep pushing through. I promise you, God will meet you. God will meet you, but you just got to push through. You saw my list. All of those things have been answered. All of those things have, like, some of it has come to pass. Some of it God has clearly answered me on in terms of what my season is and all of that stuff. And I now have so much clarity. I literally wake up every day so incredibly happy, so incredibly peaceful. I literally feel like a changed person. I'm literally a changed person, literally. Like, I don't recognize myself. No, but seriously, like, there's a confidence I have within myself now that I've never in my entire life had before. Never. Ever. And that is purely because God in this fast brought me so much emotional healing. That's the word. So much inner healing, so much emotional healing. So if that's what you're needing, a fast is the most powerful thing that you could do. Because I wasn't believing like outside materialistic things. I was really believing mostly for inner healing and emotional healing, because I couldn't live like that anymore. I couldn't live with that torment in my head anymore. I couldn't. And that made what I had in terms of materialistic things, I just wasn't happy in it, because I wasn't happy within who I was. So how can I be happy with the things that I've achieved when I'm not even happy within myself? And now I genuinely enjoy the business I've built for myself, the things I've been able to build for myself. Like, I actually feel a sense of proudness, which I never felt before about myself, because I always felt like, oh no. Like, I always was so hard on myself, and like, you need to do that, no. And it's like, I've received such healing. And I feel like all that clutter and all that noise is just gone. It's just like birds chirping. It's just peaceful. And yeah, so that's my testimony, guys. I don't want to ramble on and on, but like, that's my testimony. There's just so much fruit that has come out of this fast, and I can recommend it to anyone. It's definitely something that I'll be doing again probably within like 6 to 12 months, because you just get so much clarity. And it's really good if you're in a period of transition, if you're in a period of isolation, if you're in your hidden season. It's a really good thing to do, to just gain back that encouragement if you've been feeling discouraged, to gain back newfound wisdom from God, to just gain your strength back. That sometimes you just need a little pick-me-up from God himself. And when you dedicate like a good 21 days to him, or 14 days, or however long you decide, he can really meet you there and just really speak into it and breathe life back into you. So yeah, that was that. But I'll be back to regular posting again, once weekly. So stay tuned for that, and give it a like if this spoke to you, and let me know in the comments if you've ever been on a fast and what you got out of it, or if you're considering going on a fast. Like, let me know. I'm always curious to see because since I posted those on Instagram, there's been people who reached out to me asking about fasting, and asking about like, and saying like, oh, like, I've actually been thinking of doing a fast. It's so crazy, I see this. So yeah, but that's that for today. I'll speak to you guys in the next one.